Welcome to the Northeast Kingdom Voice. I'm your host, Scott Wheeler. It's that time of year. Winter is right around the corner, and with winter comes snow and cold. Today's guests are here today to talk about a clothing drive to help out people who need warm clothing. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi.
I'll let you introduce yourselves.
Okay. Good morning. My name's Tammy Lamori, and I am the supervisor of the outreach program
At
NEKCA. Sorry, I didn't say that.
Hi, I'm Carol Casey. I am a nurse, but I am here because our church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, believes in a lot of community service and helping people who are in need. And we did this warm clothing drive last year, and we're trying to make it bigger this year.
You know, even though I'm not a member of your church, Carol, I've got to say I think your church does so much right on, helping out people, because, I find too many churches talk about doing, but they never seem to do. Your church, no matter where they are located, they seem to be different. They actually do. Would you say that's the case?
That is our focus. Our focus is on families and on helping the needy and helping those who want to find a better path. And I think by helping people who are in need and showing compassion for people, that it really helps the community and it helps the individual as well.
Now, what is the mission of NEKCA?
Or
of your component of it?
The mission of NEKCA is to encourage people to strengthen their lives and make positive changes. And the outreach program works on the basic needs. So I have run the food shelf. I also oversee the crisis fuel and electric, and also the housing program. So when they come in, we try to help them budget for housing and how that's going to work out for them, also with the budgeting for fuel and electric. And we try to look ahead, help them plan ahead on how they can maybe even look for different sources of income.
Right. So now, how did your two groups join forces? We have a church and a nonprofit. How did this all come about?
The church looks for ways to serve in the community. One of our members is on the board at NEKCA, Ernie Butler, and we have been talking for a while about partnering with someone in the community to help with the projects that need to be helped with. And we knew there was a need for warm clothing. Cold weather is here. There's a lot of needy in our community. There are a lot of people who just can't afford to go out or get clothing that is enough for the winters that we have. And with the incomes in this area, there's a lot of people who are out of work, who even those who do work that don't make enough to support themselves. So we found that this was a way to give back to our community. There's a lot of people out there now that are going through their clothes and they don't fit, or they have too many, and they're looking for places to send that clothing to a good cause and to someone who can use it. So we find that this is a way to do that.
So I assume you thought this was a great idea since you jumped on board.
Yes. Last year when I came in, it was Carol approached me about it, and I said, of course, and we can always use warm clothing for people. When people come in, they do look for winter boots, ski pants, jackets, hats, and mittens. So the more we can get, usually we can always find a home for it.
Okay. What are you? So you're looking for jackets? You said boots, ski pants, anything else?
Winter boots are always a major need for people too.
Sweaters, socks,
Yep.
Blankets. People need these things. Some of these things can be used year-round and some of them can't, but certainly this time of the year we're looking at people who really need something besides a cotton shirt.
And it's not really easy to find a place around here to get rid of your clothes that you don't want anymore. But you probably want some kind of quality. You don't want junk.
Right. We're looking for clean and in good repair. We're looking for things that have been used or are new. It doesn't matter. But certainly we're not asking people to go out and buy jackets for the drive. But go through your closets, go through your boxes, go through what you have. Do you have too many? You'll never wear this again. It just isn't the style anymore. Well, the people in need don't care whether it's in style. They care whether it's warm and it fits.
You know what I do, though? I wear clothes long enough where they come back into style. So I'm always ready for the next, when the trend comes back around again, so.
And that's fine, but there's a lot of people who are given things or just have an abundance. Or I know someone in our office who said, my kids moved out 10 years ago, their stuff is still there, they obviously don't want it, don't need it, and I'm getting rid of it, so they're donating. I have someone else in the office who brought me 2 bags of scarves and mittens and hats and things from children that have grown up, and she doesn't need the small things anymore. Someone else in our department brought in 2 bags of jackets. Someone else brought in a jacket today and said, I think I have another one that I'm going to break.
I think I can have my wife who works with you. I think we have some, actually some nice jackets left over from when the kids moved away.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you might be getting another bag.
Awesome. And I've gone through my house and I've found sweaters that I don't want anymore or don't need or don't fit, and I've got extra blankets and I've put those in bags. So we're already starting to get people together to go through their things. It's a good time of the year that you have to go through things and get them out anyway. But if you don't want them, why just leave them sitting in your closet?
Right. So where do people, if they want to donate goods, where do they donate them to?
We have a collection that we're going to be doing on November 16th. It's a Wednesday night from 6 to 7:30 at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's located on, is it 30? Do you have the, yeah, 3417 Darling Hill Road in Derby. If you have things that you can't get there and you want picked up, if I have a week's notice, I can arrange to have someone pick those up. And you can contact me and leave a number at my home number. It's 802-525-4909. And we can arrange that.
Right.
So.
And just for the viewers who might not know where the Darling Hill Road is, because it's located, you go out Sias Avenue and you just keep on going. It turns, Sias Avenue in Newport turns into the Darling Hill Road in Derby, and just keep going out, what, maybe a mile?
Yeah, it's about a mile. If you go past Prouty Drive,
Right.
it's not too far down on the right-hand side.
Right.
And we'll have people there to help bag it up and sort it. If anyone is willing to come help and sort the clothing that night, we're going to be sorting by size and the type of clothing. So whether it's outside clothing like the jackets and the coats and those kind of things, or whether it's mittens, gloves, scarves, hats, Those will go into a different bag for those sizes. Blankets will go into a different. So we could use people to come and help us sort as well. It's an opportunity to rub elbows with others in the community and serve.
Right. And I see the drop-off time is between, 6 p.m. and 7:30?
Yes.
Right. Now, how's the clothing being distributed?
Well, Carol's going to I'll probably go there on Wednesday night, and then we will discuss how we'll get it back to NEKCA. I'm going to distribute it between Newport, Island Pond, and Canaan because I have those three sites. So once I know how many bags of women clothing we have, I'll divide it up amongst those three.
So is this only, so it's not only winter clothes, like paint, just warm pants, it's not necessarily just ski pants, or is it warm pants too? And warm shirts?
I think people could donate warm clothing no matter whether it's,
Right.
People need clothes, and a lot of people are in shorts still.
Right.
And if they don't have something warm to put on their legs, they're going to be cold.
Right.
So
we also do have the thrift store in Newport, which does take donations, and that is for a very minimal cost. And they can
where's
also
the
get
thrift
vouchers
store?
up on Seymour Lane.
Huh, I guess I didn't realize it was there.
Yeah.
Now, how much need is there? You work with a lot of people in need.
Mm-hmm.
How much need is there in this area for such items?
There's a lot of need. We've already had people come in asking for winter jackets and ski pants and hat and mittens, especially right now. And I have been fortunate enough to get some donations from Turtle Fur, and I did already put that stuff out. And it was a pretty big box, and it went. I mean, it was gone probably within 2 days.
Right.
So.
we were fortunate. I contacted WCAX, and the Mitten Tree has donated a 27-pound box of scarves, gloves, hats, socks of all different sizes. So we have that already ready for them.
I mean, just in the
it's just helpful.
Yeah. Just in the last month, just in Maine, NEKCA, we've seen around 1,500 people come in, and that's for all needs. But we see quite a few people with needs,
Right.
and that's.
I might love the Northeast Kingdom, but I'm a wimp when it comes to the cold. I really am. The only thing is I don't like wearing socks. I wear socks because I have to, but I would just, even in the winter, I can go without socks. But other than that, I need layers of clothes. So I'm glad that I would imagine I'm not the only person like that. So there are people who need
Long johns.
Need clothes. You've got to get them one way or the other. So I think what you guys are doing is great, because I know, put me out in the elements and I'll freeze. Now,
I think most people are.
Were you born and raised here?
No, I was not.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, but were you born in a cold climate?
Massachusetts.
Yeah,
not
still,
as cold,
still
but
cold. But
yeah.
Would you want to have to go cold yourself?
I would not.
Because I have.
I like to be warm. I like to.
I have a best man. My best man at my wedding, he can go out ice fishing in a t-shirt. So that's not me.
Yeah, no, I have a son who is out there in a t-shirt in the winter, and
But
that's not me either.
So
Me either.
how did last year go?
Last year went pretty well. We didn't have as much preparation, and we didn't have as much community outreach as we have this year.
You contacted me yesterday, and you're on the TV today.
That was a prompting. I got that prompting in the night, and it was like, I need to do this now. And it was just in time, obviously. That's what
everything
what we
everything-
needed to do.
Everything just fell together at the right time, so.
Right. Last year we had, I think, between a ton and a ton and a half of clothing
Wow.
donated.
That's
But,
a lot.
A great deal of that, my daughter-in-law had gone to B&B Enterprises, and they had several big contractor bags full of clothing that nobody had bought, that was kind of in the way for them and so forth. So she brought it all home, washed all of it, went through it to make sure everything was in good repair, and then put it in the donation. So a good deal of it was from that. We did have a lot of other people in the church and community that heard about it, that brought things. But this year we're doing things a little different. We're getting it out to the media, obviously. There will be ads in the Chronicle and in the Newport Daily paper. I put out some flyers into bulletin boards in some of the stores, in restaurants, in different places in the community this week to get the word out. And we're trying to encourage our members to tell people about it. We've put it on our Facebook page. We've done a lot of re-education of people that we need to get the word out, to make it a community activity, make it something that we help the community and the community receives what they need, so that people in need are cared for.
You know, love or hate Facebook, it's a great way to get people to know about your cause, because there's so many bulletin boards
It is.
out there. And as for myself in business, it's been a bonanza for me. And I think that's it used to be just the newspapers, but there's so many people now that don't, if you're 40 and under, you probably don't read the newspaper. You get all of it from online. So I think it's good that you're hitting everything, because that's what you've got to do. So is this going to be a yearly event, or do you go year by year?
I'm hoping this will be yearly. I'm hoping we will continue on with our partnership with NEKCA.
Yes.
I think we may expand out to something more than a warm clothing drive and find what other needs NEKCA has, so that we can expand our service and expand our awareness of how people can serve and help others. I think it makes people feel good when they've helped someone.
I agree.
So tell me, in my travels now, especially with Walmart here, I've been seeing Help Wanted, ads all, in a whole bunch of businesses. People are looking for workers. Probably not probably they're a little on the lower end wages, but do you think, this might be out of your ballpark, but do you think that might help some of the people in need, that there are more jobs coming, or do you think we're always going to have this need?
I think it can help.
Right.
It also depends on how much they're getting paid, I think, because a lot of times what happens is they get paid, but it's not really enough to survive.
Right.
So they're still stuck in that area of needing some help, needing some assistance still.
So do your people, I won't say from all walks of life, because if you're wealthy, you don't need your services, but do the people who utilize your services, so not all of them are unemployed, some of them are basically underpaid?
Yes. We see a wide variety of people. We see elderly that are struggling with the amount they get from Social Security. We see people, young families. We see single adults, people who are working, people who are not working or looking for jobs. So it's quite a wide variety of range of people.
Right. not to put the Rotary on the spot, because Rotary does do a lot
Yes.
of good things in this area. You might want to reach out to the Rotary and just mention your project, because maybe at minimum they will reach out to their members, because Rotary is one of those groups that really does a lot of good for this community. And I'm not saying they join you, but I bet you, being business people, they probably have a lot of resources that you can tap into.
Get us the contact information.
I
We'll
will do
be
that.
there.
I will do that.
Thank you.
And I'm not a member, so I'm just putting them on the spot, because I just happen to really like what that group does for our community, because they do a lot for us. Because I believe NEK, Joe's been on here with one of the projects that they've NEKCA NEKCA and the Rotary have teamed up with, so it wouldn't be the first time. Again, how if somebody wants to donate and they want to contact you, how would they contact you?
They can contact me at NEKCA, and that's 334-7316, and that's Main Street, right on Main Street. And they can always come in and ask for me, and or bring the donations.
So they can bring the donation right to
They can. Right, for now, we would prefer it to be Wednesday night. But if for some reason they weren't able to get there and they needed, and they're in Newport or they're going by, we'd be welcome that.
And again, your contact number is?
802-525-4909.
Right. Do you have any, how much you collected last year? Are you hoping to top that amount?
I would love to top that amount.
Okay.
I would love to see, last year we got clothing that included things that were not warm clothing. This year we're really targeting for the warm clothing. And I think if things come in that are not, there's a clothing swap happening through the high school at the end of the week. So we can always put it in there for people if necessary. But we're specifically looking for warm clothing this time, and blankets.
It's kind of sad to say, but I think a lot of that stuff you're looking for actually ends up in the garbage, because people don't know
what to do with it.
Don't know what to do with it. Because even myself over the years, it's like, I can't say I'm a hoarder, but I hate to throw away
something that's good.
Perfectly good stuff. And so I think that's good to keep it out of the landfill and provide a service.
It doesn't need to be fancy. It needs to be warm.
Right.
And we have people in all walks of life that find themselves in a position where they just don't have what they need. And as she mentioned, we have a lot of elderly in this area. The elderly don't have the ability to go out and buy. Some of them can't get to places to go shopping, and don't have the money to shop anyways. They're choosing between medications, heat, clothing, food, and clothing goes down the tube when it comes to their health. So,
what kind of reaction do you see when people are going through, and especially maybe kids, when they find, when they're going through the clothes and they find something?
We usually get great responses. People are very appreciative. I have this one little girl who, when we got the turtle fur hats, was looking through, and the mom had come back in, and she said she will not take that hat off. She wears it everywhere, and she just loves it. So it's always great to see the responses from everyone. Everybody always appreciates it, says thank you, and how much they could really use the warm clothing.
Right. And and that was also good that WCAX had their mitten tree. How long? They've been doing that for a while, haven't they?
I'm sure they have.
It's been a long time.
Many years.
15, 20.
Yeah. It totally blew me away. I just asked them if they would put the information on their community bulletin board, and I got an email back saying yes, and we're going to send this, and I received it 2 days later.
So in other words, is your reaching out has really paid off, because as I said, within hours after you reaching out to me, you're sitting in front of a mic.
Yes.
And within how long did the WCAX thing take for them to turn around?
Less than 24 hours before I got the email. So, yeah, I think people want to help. I think people understand that there's a lot of need for people to have help of different kinds, and warm clothing certainly at this time of the year. We've already had snow. We've already had some very cold weather, windy weather. Some people don't have everything that they need. Their houses are not warm. They may need to wear even jackets in their houses sometimes.
And people need, and for people listening, they need to realize last winter was not the typical winter.
No.
It was a warm winter, as winters go.
I actually, on Christmas Eve, just to say I did it, I stood on my porch in shorts and a t-shirt, because if you remember, it was like 60 degrees, and I was grilling on my, but the thing is I have a feeling you might have people with short memories, or maybe who were new this last year, and they're going to think, okay, this is normal. Then all of a sudden, if we get a real winter, they might quickly find out that they're underclothed.
Absolutely.
But that, I gotta admit, it was kind of a nice reprieve though last winter.
It
And
was.
the oil prices are reasonable now.
They're
and-
better.
Yeah, they're better. Okay, final words.
Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you Wednesday night.
And that's Wednesday, November 16th.
Yep.
And we would welcome anyone to bring donations. If you can't bring donations and you want to help sort, we would love to have you join us. Again, the address is 3417 Darling Hill Road in Derby. And thank you all for all the help that you give to our community.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And thank you for all you're doing. I think it's great. You know, we do have people in need, and I think it's great that people are teaming up. You know, as I said, the Church of Latter-day Saints and NEKCA, they've teamed up to do this great thing. Now I challenge the listeners to do the same thing. Step up to the plate. Look through your stuff, your good, clean winter clothing that you don't use anymore, and think about donating it. Thank you for listening to another segment of the Northeast Kingdom Voice.